Welcome to the Let's Get Vulnerable podcast with me, your host, Dr. Morgan Anderson, clinical psychologist, relationship coach, love expert, creator of the ESL relationship method, and athletic wear connoisseur. My mission is to help you raise your self-worth, have great relationships, and step confidently into the next level of your life. Each week, 2 episodes will air featuring expert advice, live coaching, and tips showing you exactly how to improve your life and attract great relationships. You deserve to feel empowered, secure, and loved. So buckle up and let's get vulnerable. Welcome to the Let's Get Vulnerable podcast. It's your host, Dr. Morgan. I am currently in Holter Lake, which is outside of Wolf Creek, Montana. If you're a real Montanan, you're going to say Wolf Creek, but I'll spare you all of that. Anyway, so I wanted to do kind of a fun episode, and I haven't done this before, and I just thought this can really add some value to people. This one's for all my book nerds out there. I could have made a list of 27 plus books that changed my life, but I decided to just narrow it down to 7 different books that have had a really big impact on me. So I want to share with you my top 7 books that have changed my life. And I was going to do 5. So funny story, I wanted to do 5, but I couldn't get it down to 5. So you're going to get my top 7 books. Okay. And this is, it's just hard for me to narrow it down. I'm going to be honest, so hard for me to narrow it down, but we're going to do it. All right. Are you ready? These are in no particular order, but these are 7 books that have changed my life. And I'm going to tell you kind of why they've changed my life. And hey, if you're into it, go check it out. I know after I put this episode out, I'm going to say, dang it, I should have included XYZ. So I'm already aware there might be a part 2, but hey, we're doing it. It is what it is. Let's go. Book number 1 that changed my life is Super Attractor, Gabrielle Bernstein. This book really helped me during a time when I needed to tune in to my spiritual life. And that was something that I had really struggled with. It also helped me when I was in a period of transition, when I was moving and unsure of what I was going to do after moving out of my family's basement, my childhood bedroom, trying to figure out, what am I doing? Where am I going to be? I had uprooted my life during the pandemic, and reading this book just helped me really embrace the spiritual way of being that is known as surrender. So I highly recommend Super Attractor if you've struggled with surrendering, and particularly if you're in a period of transition and you have some changes in your life. I think it's a really great book. So that was Super Attractor by Gabrielle Bernstein. That was my first one. Number 2 is, of course, y'all know this, but Attached by Amir Levne. And this book absolutely changed my life because it helped me understand why I was doing what I was doing in relationships. I think many of you have read this book. Usually women who end up joining the Empowered Secure Love program, a lot of them have read the book and they're struggling with, how do I put it into practice? How do I actually become securely attached? Because the book really does a great job of giving you a logical understanding and helping you really pinpoint, how are you showing up in relationships, and helping you understand probably how your partners have shown up in relationships and why they do what they do. So it's just a life-changing book when it comes to relationships and really understanding attachment theory. Highly recommend. Book number 3, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. And I just love Jen Sincero. Any of you who have read her books, you probably know. I think she's amazing. She writes in a way that anyone can relate to. She's funny. It's easy to read. She tells the best stories. And this book, You Are a Badass, is basically I would say it's an intro to personal development. It was one of the first ever personal development books that I read. And I can tell you that there's other books on this list, even Super Attractor. I would not have been ready for Super Attractor if I had not read You Are a Badass. So if you're looking for an introductory book that will make you laugh, that will help you heal, that will motivate you, and you want something that's easy to read, I highly recommend You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. All right. The next book that changed my life in our 7 books, I need to come up with a better title. 7 books that changed my life. That's what I have here. So, anyways, number 4 on that list is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. This is by T. Harv Eker. And I want to make sure I have that title because I always get it wrong. Yes, I got it right. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, Mastering the Inner Game of Wealth by T. Harv Eker changed my life. And what I love about this book is it's a lot of inner work related to money. And all of us need that, especially those of us that are stuck. And if you find yourself in relationships where you're overgiving, it's likely that you're also experiencing lack of boundaries and self-worth issues that are related to money, right? It's all connected. A lot of times when people do the work in the program, they end up making more money, they get raises, they go higher up in their jobs. All of this work is connected, but I do think that it's helpful to have books or programs that are specific to money. And this is one of those ones that really changed my life. It's The Inner Game, and it has some practical pieces that you can apply right now to your financial life. So highly recommend Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, T. Harv Eker. All right, y'all ready to get weird? You ready to get woo-woo? That's what this next book is. Well, I will say this. This was probably one of the first ever personal development books written. And I'm like so excited I can't speak. I love talking about books. So yeah, this was one of the first ever personal development books that was written. It is by Maxwell Maltz. I doubt any of you have read it. But incredibly life-changing. This book is all about identity and the power of identity. And the name is Psycho-Cybernetics. Let me spell it for you. I knew someone was going to ask. It is psycho, so Psycho, cybernetics, Cybernetics, Psycho-Cybernetics. I appreciated this book because, once again, it's an overhaul on your identity. So check that out. And there's more I could say about it, but really, truly, I think it's worth reading. There may be things, I meant to say this at the beginning. Any book you read, there's going to be things that you connect with and things that serve you and things that you leave and that you don't take in. And I think that's real, true wisdom when we can discern between what we want to integrate and what we want to take from something versus what we want to just leave and not, right? So any book you read, that is the case. You get to decide what serves you, what doesn't. And you get to have the wisdom to leave the things that don't serve you, right? But Psycho-Cybernetics is a great book for really getting clear on identity and helping you with your vision. There's also like emotional skills and meditations. I think it's a great book. All right, now we're going deeper into the woo woo. This book is weird, okay? And I say that because you really have a hard time finding it, and I actually think it's a little bit expensive. The book is y'all are like, "What are you talking about?" But this book it changed my life. Um, it's called Levels of Energy, and it is by Frederick Dodson, Dodson. And this book is all about understanding different ways of being in the world. And what's cool is it actually goes through all the levels. And it's this huge, big, thick book. But what I really love is it gave me this framework for understanding my own ways of being, my own energetic presence. And just by having that framework, I became a lot more aware of the energy that I'm coming across with. And then it also just helped me realize what kinds of environments I'm in, the kinds of relationships I have. And it helped give me a framework for understanding those different energy levels. So I want to look this up. How much does this book cost? I think it's expensive. I think it's really kind of, I don't want to say it's rare, but okay, it's $37. So it's not terrible, but yeah, it's like a limited print book, I think. Um Kind of woo woo for those of you that uh are interested in that sort of thing, but really helpful once again for just building a framework of understanding. And I think it's a great way to say, well, I wonder what level I'm hanging out in. It goes on a number scale and it says that most people are 0 to 500, but obviously there's levels beyond that. But it just defines the energy at all different levels. And it allows you to just get curious. Yeah, where am I at? Where am I at on this scale? So check that out. Levels of Energy, Frederick Dobson. And then number 7, last but not least, this book changed my life. I wonder if some of you will know it. It is Daring Greatly, Brene Brown. How could I not include Brene Brown on this list, right? We love Brene. If you have not read Daring Greatly, I highly encourage you to. It is a life-changing book. So much value in there about self-compassion, and really letting go of shame and embracing our most authentic selves and daring greatly, right? Like allowing ourselves to get in the arena. I love Brene Brown. I highly recommend that book. I also recommend The Gifts of Imperfection. It's a short read. It was, I think, the first book that she ever wrote. And that book is incredibly powerful as well, especially for all of you perfectionists and people pleasers out there. The Gifts of Imperfection is a really great book. As I said, I could have included so many other book titles, um, but I wanted to just narrow it down to 7. I'm curious. Let me know if you end up reading any of these books. If you do, will you tag me in your Instagram story? So share it to your Instagram story and tag me. Of course, I just thought of one other great book that I've mentioned before. Bonus book, book number 8, Boundary Boss by Terry Cole was another incredible life-changing book. If you're struggling with boundaries, check out Boundary Boss by Terry Cole. But real quick, I'm just going to go through my list one more time in case you missed it or in case you want to Amazon search. Here it is. My list was Super Attractor by Gabrielle Bernstein, Attached by Amir Levne, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker, Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, Levels of Energy by Frederick Dodson, Daring Greatly by Brene Brown, and last but not least, Boundary Boss by Terry Cole. All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this short and sweet episode. Check out those books. Tag me in your stories if you end up reading them. And happy reading, happy healing, happy growing. I personally believe that time spent reading is time that is invested in you, and we all deserve to do it. Those of you that are audiobook folks, no shame in that either. It's the same thing. I just hope that you're making time in your life. Obviously, you're listening to this podcast, so you probably are, but I hope that you're making time in your life to give to yourself, to grow, and to say, yeah, of course, I'm worthy of investing in myself with knowledge and growth. All right, y'all, I'm wishing you high self-worth and great relationships. I'll talk to you soon.